So, last we left off, you guys had exited the city of Alperin, having seen something strange fall from the sky. Approaching this crash site, you guys felt like you were being watched or followed by something, but couldn't exactly figure out what it was. Upon approaching the crash site, you guys discovered that this seemed to be some sort of vessel of some sort, metallic and full of a strange foreign technology. You entered the vessel very carefully, trying to figure out what it was exactly that this was, and what the deal is, what happened here, what is this thing, are there any survivors? And it turns out there was one. Apparently the captain of this ship, being so agitated and afraid, immediately began to start shooting at you guys. So after that, you guys encountered some ice devils, creating an interesting two-front sort of battle between you guys, the captain of this ship, and then 3 ice devils. Once everyone was defeated, you guys poked around the ship a little bit, discovered that this being that you thought was a strange alien turned out to actually be an elf, and that they had been attacked by something called a star kraken, which sounds kind of fucked up if you think about it for too long, thus causing them to not only crash, but apparently while they were crashing, were sent backwards in time to your present. You collected the body of the captain and a bit of the ooze that seemed to be her partner on the ground, and ran from the ship, ensuring it would explode behind you. And that is where we are picking up. You are out here in the tundra. There are a few guards that had to come from the city of Alperin to figure out what this crashed thing was. You're out here in the cold snow with a body and a little vial of ooze that might be part of someone else's body.
So there are people out here. How many people can we see immediately upon exiting?
There are about 10 guards that were able to heed your warning to watch out for the explosion.
Boom.
That wording implies that there's guards that didn't.
You don't know.
Well, we warned them, so, it's their fault if they get blown up.
Skill issue, clearly.
Exactly.
Well, who wants to start? Who wants to start making excuses to the guards? Anybody?
Funny you say that, because as you say that, one of the guards approaches. He seems to be a male tiefling, with kind of bluish gray skin and curly black hair, and dark gray horns that go up and then kind of zigzag backwards. He is kind of approaching you all. And any of you versed in tiefling language, body language, can see like his tail is kind of flashing, like he is agitated.
Lish will kind of raise his hands up a little bit, like, whoa.
I can handle the guards if people would like.
That was so crazy. It just exploded out of nowhere.
Deception
we
check.
we were in there for like 2 seconds and it blew up.
Deception check.
Yep.
Wow, I rolled really low for Demir. That's an 18.
I don't even know how to describe this energy.
I rolled a 2, guys. That was so bad.
Let's see.
This woman needs to be stopped.
Yes, and
Got a 19.
Damn it!
So the tiefling guard like immediately turns to look at you, and his kind of bright yellow eyes narrow at you, and he says, "Explain yourselves at once."
happily, officer. Obviously, we would want to put in a report with the local guard. Obviously, you found us before we could find you.
A ship fell from the sky. We went to see it. It exploded.
I assume you're familiar with the shenanigans that have been happening throughout the world.
I don't think anyone is familiar with anything that is going on.
I meant like how there's a magical thing happening in a quarter of your city, and have you heard any of the rumors of stuff out of place?
He turns his attention towards you and doesn't say anything. He just raises an eyebrow and is looking at you, waiting for you to continue.
Well, this is an example of such. We got here as soon as we can to see if we could save any survivors. As you can see, we have two. Valk holds out the vial of green goo and gestures at the body. And we were also attacked by... Can I make a roll to see what those bug lizards were?
Sure. Arcana or religion.
So we got attacked by some bug lizards that then melted when we killed it, obviously drawn in by the crash as well. And during our combat, the stuff caught on fire, and well, you can see
to
what...
be fair, the
Place
stuff was
exploded.
already on fire when we went in there.
True.
Very much on fire when we got there.
You
I
can
think
see
the place
hole
was...
in the side of the thing.
Yeah, it was unstable when we got here, and it exploded when we were inside. We had to run out and save our lives.
I see. And in your opinion, is it safe to traverse the wreckage to further our understanding?
I doubt it. The whole place was unstable.
The inside of that craft was so bizarre. We don't know what else is in there that could ignite. There could be something hidden either in the walls or other cargo that we just didn't see.
There were strange and dangerous magics that even I couldn't comprehend. Trying to look for it with detect magic came up with nothing, but it clearly was magic. I can think of no other explanation for what was going on.
I see.
This is the kind of thing that a wizard must look into, investigate. Do you have any of those around?
Just gives you a look. Says, I appreciate your statement. I would recommend against running straight toward potentially dangerous things falling from the sky in the future. As
That
it
is not
the
what we do.
city has been put temporarily on lockdown to ensure that anything emerging from this wreckage is not going to potentially cause harm to the city. Stay safe. And he steps away and starts giving orders to the other guards nearby, telling them to kind of fan out and wait for the fire to die down before going in to investigate.
Time for us to leave.
Watch
Tobias
out
kind
for
of
bug
hushedly
lizards.
tells everyone.
They don't seem to be stopping us at all?
They have, I mean, they're keeping an eye on you, but they don't stop you from fleeing the scene now that you have given your statement.
Wait, if the city's
They-
on lockdown, how do we get back to our lodging?
Weren't we planning on camping out anyway and stuff, so that way we could do Speak with the Dead, because we currently have, well, Goo, but also a full-size corpse with us?
Could we perhaps see if one of the guards would escort us back to the city? If we can speak with the dead, but I cannot revive these people until I get some more material health.
I think
Do
perhaps we should stay out of town for now. I don't know if we have any reason to go back, and I think that requesting a guard escort could arise more questions than we want to answer.
We could always tree stride home. Now that we have trees that I know in this area, we can travel a bit more easily.
Drop off some of our stuff. Not a bad idea.
Go pick up a brother.
I have no way to update him tonight. I'm out of magical energies to do so.
We don't need to update him. We don't need to bring him. I don't think we need to drop anything off either. We've only barely begun on our mission.
Well, do we want to hold these bodies for whatever amount of time it takes for me to get the goos that I need to do reincarnation, if they would like to be reincarnated, that is.
I think perhaps we should focus first on just going back, either camping out here or bringing the bodies back with, because my concern is I don't know if even if we get escorted back, I don't know if the inn would like us to have a dead body in one of their rooms. So perhaps we should just camp out here for the night, get the spell slots back, perform Speak with the Dead, ask them what they want, and then we can go from there. If they want to be reincarnated, then we can make a teleport back to, or tree walk or whatever, back to the manor and drop the bodies off there to be preserved. Or if they don't want to be reincarnated, we just bury them.
Sounds fine to me. I don't have any objections.
Well, Lish, do you have the energies for a tree walk for this evening?
I can double check my spells, but I do believe that I have, I think, both of my high level ones. I can just get my character sheet open.
Lish pulling out a smartphone.
Let me see.
I do also have one spell slot available if we need a teleportation circle.
I'm just thinking if we have the capacity to get back home, it would be better to be somewhere safe when we're this low on resources from the wreckage encounters.
Just make sure we have a means of getting here again.
So maybe we should look at a tree a little bit further away from the flaming wreckage.
I mean, yeah.
I probably picked one out close to the outer walls of the city while we were running around.
Well, I will say, there are a handful of trees near the outer walls. There are also many trees inside of the city itself within that kind of everbloom that you were able to see.
So I could get us inside the city if we needed to. If we wanted to. I have the ability to cast Tree Stride twice more before I have to sleep. Well, not sleep. Meditate.
Well, it's my vote. We head back to the manor and hunker down for the evening.
We could always take the dead body to the inn with the dead angel lady. They seemed to not mind having just dead sleeping creatures flopping all over the place.
I think she was more sleeping than dead, though.
We also have a cemetery at home.
Also, how much do we want people to... How many people do we want to see the body and its attire and whatnot?
Yeah,
I quite
person.
agree. I think that the manor would be best. So if that is what everybody thinks we should do, Lish will kind of hold his hand out and gesture towards one of the nearer trees to them.
Carrying a body into a town that's already on lockdown that we theoretically should not be able to enter does sound like a very, very bad idea.
All right then. Lish will kind of start moseying over to a big tree that's out of eyeshot of the guards and flaming husk of a ship.
All right. You're able to find a decent-sized pine tree that will be large enough for you to cast what you need.
Okay, everybody ready?
As I can
Yes.
All right, I will cast it, and we can all go through.
All right.
Conga line time.
Who the fuck is the right playlist? Goddamn. This is the problem when you're as a dedicated DM as I am. There's so many playlists. Here we are. Okay. So you step out of the tree in the graveyard of your home. It is so early morning here that it is still dark out.
Oh yeah, time differences.
I mean, for our perspective, it is from darkness to darkness. We are in the same night, obviously.
Alpern is much further
Well-
west than Saya, no?
Let's get them inside then.
All
You and friend.
Lish, I'd love for you to make a perception check.
Okie dokie. Dirty 20.
Cool. Not difficult to miss at all. But as you approach your house, you see something strange on the door. There seems to be a dead snake stabbed to the door, its head pierced through with a dagger.
Oh, that can't be good.
Can Tobias, would it be like investigation or something or other, determine like if it's a symbol of something or other? Or is it, I don't know.
This would be more of a history check.
History check. Okay, Tobias, don't fuck this up. Hey, he didn't fuck this up. Good job, boyo. That's a 19.
19. I mean, it's not difficult to tell that this is clearly a warning of some sort. And you find your mind drawn to the symbol of the King of Cut Purses, which is an Ouroboros.
Yep. I had a feeling.
Tobias will turn to the group and say, I do believe this is probably a warning from that king.
Why would they be warning anybody in this house?
We do have 2 of their children.
Well, Echo and Egress can leave at any time.
That's not how those groups work.
Leave us to go talk to the King of Cut Purses, not leave the King of Cut Purses, I meant.
Oh.
But why would they?
Do you think they've seen this already?
Can Tobias investigate the snake to determine how long it's been dead?
Sure.
Hell yeah.
Nature investigation.
I spoke too soon, Tobias, you fucking dumb bastard. That's a 6. It's too dark.
It's too dark, and you're human without night vision.
I'm a human with weak little human eyes.
Tobias investigates the snake and then steps back and is like, I'm pretty sure that thing's dead.
It's like, he'll probably look at it and he goes like, shit, I can't see anything in this light.
I can help with that.
Yeah, go ahead, Valk. Look at it with your special eyes. See what it tells you.
No, you're looking at it with your now special eyes, as Valk does. And bam, you have dark vision out to 300 feet.
What did you just fucking say to me? It's like, what did you just fucking gesture to me? Tobias like looks like concerned between her hand gesture. He's like, is that? I can't tell if that's offensive or not. Is that
What kind of obscene arcane signal is this?
I don't know.
It's like,
I
did you say
can't
slur?
do jujitsu. And there's somatic components to spells. So
Hawk does
fuck
the
it.
Batman mask on Toby's face.
Oh my god. Turns
You
back to
have
Snake.
dark
When were you
vision
killed?
now.
Who killed you? Who put you
God.
in?
Where are the roads?
Anyway.
So Tobias has specialized now that let him see in the dark?
Yes, you have an hour of 300 feet of dark vision.
Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Crikey. Am I allowed to investigate the snake again or no?
Well, you roll a nature check this time.
Okay. Nature check. Don't you fuck this up. Holy shit, that's a nat 20. 22.
Well then.
Tobias just like fucking like, I can't see shit. Val gives him dark
I
vision.
can see
Val,
everything.
Tobias turns around. Wow.
Oh. Okay, so you step closer now that you can see a bit better towards the snake. You can see, first of all, that the dagger that was used to stab it into your front door is pretty cheap, honestly. It doesn't look that expensive. It's like your standard steel dagger. The snake, however, this is a western rattlesnake. You can see it's kind of brown and got like spots on it. It is a venomous kind of snake, but it has, best you can tell, kind of looking at it, and the way that it's been stabbed and the kind of blood oozing from its head. This has been dead for hour or two.
Tobias will relay that information to the party and say, from the looks of things, this just happened.
In that case, we should probably get it down so that they don't have to see it.
And we'll let Levy and Eitri and his guards know.
Yes, for sure. It doesn't look like it's like trapped or anything. What?
Well,
Tobias will grab the snake from behind the head and then yank the dagger out. Basically, remaining, because the city's remaining cautious of its fangs and whatnot.
All right.
Since it was so recent, do we have the ability to track the people who did it?
Like crimsometry?
Like looking down at footprints and following them?
I was just about to ask, because Tobias still has the night vision, is he able to investigate for footprints or any signs of, like, people?
Roll a survival check.
Okay.
Can I use my dark vision goggles to give him advantage on that?
Sure. And Demir, while you're at it, would you mind rolling just a quick intelligence check?
Okay.
So Tobias rolls survival with advantage.
Yeah.
That's a 8 intelligence for Demir.
Okay.
That's a
All things
23.
23. Unfortunately, you're not able to find much. Close to the stairs to the porch, Tobias, you're able to find like a little stuff of dirt from the trail, but you're not really able to find much. It's clear that whoever had done this is a professional.
Okay, well, while you guys are investigating, though, we can take the bodies inside, and you guys can continue investigating.
Well, at this point, from the looks of things, we're not going to find anything because whoever did this they are very skilled at hiding their tracks. And there's also the fact that we're currently low on resources right now. So even if we did find them, it's not like we'd actually be able to do much.
This is clearly a message.
Yeah.
There's not much that we would gain from a messenger beyond
polymorph.
that.
I could polymorph somebody and they could see if they couldn't sniff a little farther.
If we want, but
I suspect this is
tapped out.
Yeah, I suspect this is a problem for another day.
I suspect this is more of a problem for Levy right now.
As
And
you
there are
wish.
several guests at that.
I'm still pretty on my feet if you want me to do it.
I could polymorph, if necessarily. If you give me an hour or so, I will be a little bit better to go tracking anything down.
Amir, there is a faint aura of transmutation on the path.
We might not actually be able to track anything. I think they might have magicked away.
Pass without trace.
Well, with that settled then, Lish'll kind of gesture a hand. Come on now.
It's the rest would do us all good, I think, and it only makes sense that this man would be careful to cover his tracks, and probably has the resources to do so if the King of Cutpurses is actually as influential as they say. I wonder if he may have slipped up.
Lish'll go and start heading inside and figure out a place to stick a body, I guess, on the floor in the someplace where there's no carpeting.
So you head inside, and Esme is just kind of floating in the foyer, or her faint kind of bluish ghostly glow illuminating the walls around you. She just watches as you guys enter.
Tobias will greet her and say, "Hello, Esme."
More than Esme.
She will give a polite wave and then hold her finger up to her nose, pointing upstairs.
Tobias will do his best to keep quiet.
Demir will turn to Lish and just, maybe we should store them in the cellar for now.
There's quite a bit of room down there.
Dry. It's cool, dry space. The floors are stone.
And we don't have to worry
If
about
it's good
the
enough for
children walking
storing
in on
food.
it.
Yeah. If it's good enough for storing food and meat, I suppose it's good for storing human meat too.
Technically elf, but
Humanoid.
man flesh.
Hasn't Sniv also been going down there? We need to inform him to not touch the body.
Didn't Sniv potentially take a body down there already? Maybe our hero have a friend.
I said specifically took a bundle of fabric down there that was more or less tied up that in a way could be mistaken for a body. I did not say specifically it was a body.
This was definitely a body.
It's obviously a body.
We all know Sniv. It was definitely a body.
I'm sorry. What now?
Maybe you should check in with your son more often. Demir will help Lish get the body into the cellar and find a corner that's not going to contaminate any of their food stuff.
All right, let's get the body down into the cellar then and find a spot for it where it won't contaminate foods, but it'll also be safe.
Yeah.
We could put it down the well since we haven't been using that for water since it's already been contaminated.
No!
There's definitely a corner of the giant ass cellar
Yeah,
that's
there'll definitely be space down there, and we could also just move some of the stuff too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Put the body up on top of a shelf.
Look, the cellar is cool, dry, and good for storing like things without refrigeration in this like pre-industrial society. It's fine.
So Sniv has taken over the wine cellar and turned it into an alchemy lab. You could leave the bodies by the pantry or by the well.
I think we'll move things around so that it can be left like kind of nearish the pantry. Like we don't want to put it near the well because that's where moisture would be. So yeah, we'll move things around in the pantry and find a spot
And we'll make
for
sure
the body.
the body is properly covered, so that people who might walk by it aren't gonna be fucking startled by it.
Why don't we just shove it in the bag of holding?
The bag of holding
It's
has a
a
finite.
whole ass fucking body.
Yeah, the bag of holding can only infinitely store things that'll actually fit inside the opening, and I don't think the body will.
We would have to do
I
some
can fit a-
chop.
It's the bag of holding, not the
I
burlap
put
sack
a
of
lot
holding.
of rock. I put so many rocks in there. I mean, I think we could fit a body.
You know, put it in long ways.
Yeah. You just gotta
I
really,
mean,
like, you know.
Even then,
how
I'd
wide
imagine
does
that,
the bag
like-
open?
Like, I don't imagine
Why
it'd be
didn't-
any bigger than, like, I don't know,
That's
like
enough
this,
for a
maybe a little longer.
body.
It literally just
Yeah.
needs to stay there overnight. Like that's
It's-
it. We'll
it's
take
fine.
a nap. We'll speak to the body tomorrow. It's fine.
I do think you would need to dismantle the body to be able to fit into the bag. I mean, picture your average sized backpack.
Mm-hmm.
2 feet in diameter. So yeah, that would be a little tight even for a skinny ass elf.
I bet we can make it happen. But we don't need to. Why would we need to put them in the bag of holding? Let's just lay them out and go to bed. We can worry about the rest of this tomorrow.
Fair enough.
All right. You all head to your various rooms.
How are the guards doing about these random intruders in the mansion?
We have guards?
A tree has guards.
Fair enough.
Gonna say, Eitri was staying in. I think he's staying in Erin's room, if I recall correctly.
That sounds right.
You can see heading upstairs, one of the guards posted outside of the room. Let's see, this one's name. Fucking find their names again, because Jesus Christ.
Is it not Aaron's girlfriend?
No, there are 3 of them. This one is the elvish one with black braids and a half ponytail. Her name is Teethot. I mean, Aaron, you get the distinct impression that she went and peeked down the stairs and saw you guys enter, and no one noticed her, and resumed her post.
Fair enough.
Valk salutes as she walks past and then just goes into her room.
Mm-hmm.
Can Tobias leave a note on the door of the to the cellar or whatever to say refrain from opening or refrain from entering until the next morning or something, or at least like Echo and Egress, please do not enter. Thank you.
All right.
So
the
specific,
last thing he
so
wants
courteous.
Well, it's because he specifically
no children allowed.
It's a polite request of just like, please keep this door closed and do not enter until the morning or until we've dealt with the thing that we put in there. Don't worry about it. He doesn't. He would prefer not the kids to see it.
Yeah, I know.
body.
Aaron, where do you go since your room is occupied?
I think Aaron's just gonna like go down to the like gallery and just roll out a sleeping bag.
Okay.
You could always join us, Aaron. Our bed is big enough for many people.
If that's okay, he's just gonna start staring at Demir.
Pile on in.
Yeah, and he'll go over then.
All right. Tobias, you enter your room. Leafy is sprawled out on the bed, just dead asleep.
Tobias will set his pack down and then quietly call out to her to see if she wakes, because he doesn't want to surprise her by just laying down.
Nope, she is out cold.
Okay. He'll approach and then like gently tap her shoulder or jostle if it doesn't wake her up.
Nah, she's
fucking out. Okay.
She is out. She's
Then
still alive,
Tobias-
but she's out. She rolled a natural 3 for perception.
That's fucking great. Love that for her. He'll smile fondly and then he'll lay down on his half of the bed.
Leafy rolls over and kind of subconsciously snuggles towards you when you get on your side of the bed.
Then he'll reciprocate and start cuddling her back. He just didn't want to do it while she was like unconscious in case it scared her or startled her or whatever.
All right. Aaron, an intelligence check, please.
Ooh, okay. That is a 11.
11. You're kind of laying there in bed with Lish and Demir, and this is easiest for you to grasp at the moment since you're essentially kicked out of your room. But you're thinking like, maybe if there's this crime boss that has his eyes more or less on your house, Might not be a good idea for a prince to stay there.
You know, that is a pretty fair point.
Just a thought that occurs to you as you're drifting off to sleep. All right.
Oh shit, I just realized y'all all of us fucking forgot to go tell the fucking guards! Oh, great.
Oh,
Which
the guards
guards?
The guards for the city?
The pattern.
No! Eitree's guards!
Eitree's
Oh.
Dipshits!
Oh.
The fucking... Yeah, we have a goddamn prince in our house.
Yeah, that was what I was asking about earlier. It's fine. We'll talk to them in the morning. It's fine.
They
Can,
don't sleep.
Is there anything anyone would like to accomplish before you bunk down for the evening?
Can
Yes.
Tobias go and
I think
inform
Aaron's
the
gonna-
guards about the snake?
I think Aaron, still lying in bed, is going to, like, throw a message in the direction of right outside his room. Also about it.
Do you try to message Tifat, Inam, or Rahat?
I guess thought, because, like, no, she's around. No, she's vaguely abreast of, at least that we're here.
Okay.
Just be like, I think, you know, he's got, even over a message, like, audibly, like, you know, you're about to go to bed kind of voice. But he's like, there was a threat on the door from a local crime boss, King of Cut Purses. Not sure if anything's going to be happening soon about it, but seems like something you should know.
You get an immediate response back to the effect of, excuse me? And that's it. Do you stay in the room?
Do I hear that Tobias is, like, walking down the hall?
Well, perception check. Toby, how quiet are you trying to be as you extract yourself from Lazy's loving embrace?
He's trying to be quiet, but he's also, like, hurrying, because in his mind is basically just, like, he was laying down, starting to relax, and then just hit with a fucking wave of anxiety / panic where he's like, shit. We forgot. It's like, it's like trying to be quiet, try not to wake up other people, but he's also like trying to get down the hall quickly, which, I mean, to be fair, his legs are like 2 miles long, so it's not that hard. But when he approaches the guards, he's like,
13 from Aaron.
Aaron, I would say that you hear Tobias. Leafy actually does wake up a little bit when you extract yourself, Tobias, and she's just like that kind of wakefulness. Not entirely comprehending that you're here, and also trying to wake up a little. Tobias, you see Tifat giving instructions to the other elvish pattern dancer, Inam. They are talking rapidly in Marhabi.
Aaron just sends a message back. Explanation incoming, and he's gonna stay there. He's gonna fall asleep.
Tobias will approach the two the two guards, and it's like, hesitantly or like nervously, like, lifts his hand in greeting and stuff before saying, hello. I know we came back unannounced and stuff, but when we arrived, we had found I wrote it down.
Western rattlesnake.
Western rattlesnake. We found a western rattlesnake stabbed through the head into the front door. Based on the blood left behind, we were able to determine that it had been there maybe perhaps an hour or so before we arrived. We tried to see if we could find tracks left behind by the person who left it, but we couldn't find any. From what we understand, we have a strong suspicion that it's a message from the King of Cutpurses. While we are uncertain if something may occur during the night or within the upcoming day, you may need to consider moving Eitri somewhere else if this house is under the Cutpurse's eye.
And Tifat answer you. Mahat is going to stay in the room with His Royal Highness. Inam is going to do a perimeter sweep and see if she can locate any clues. I am going to stay where I am to provide extra security to His Royal Highness.
Sounds like a strong plan. If anything occurs, if either someone enters if there's an intruder or something else or whatever and stuff, please do not hesitate to rouse us. We will assist you however we can.
She gives like a quick nod as Inam moves past you, and it's interesting as she moves. It's like the colors around her distort, making her more difficult to see. As she moves past you and starts heading downstairs.
Tobias will give them a kind of like final nod before heading back to his room.
Okay. When you head back, Levy's sitting up and just kind of rubbing at her eyes. She's like, "Hi, what? Hi, I didn't know you were gonna be here."
Tobias just kind of like steps in, like closes the door, sees she's awake, and just goes, "Surprise!"
He just kind of slides out of bed and gives you a hug.
It's good to see you again. Don't let Egris and Echo go down into the cellar. There's currently a body down there. We'll deal with it though in the morning.
Like a live body that like a or something? Or?
It's a bit of a interesting story. We needed somewhere to keep it until people regained spell slots so that we could speak with dead.
Gotcha. Well, the only one you really need to worry about going down there is Sniv.
I did leave a note on the door. If Sniv sees it,
Sniv might see the note, but he'll read it first, probably.
At the very least, I don't have to worry about him being traumatized by seeing corpse because he's seen many already. So.
Well, that's true. Come to bed. I'm tired.
Yes, dear.
All right. Is that it for the evening?
I had a thing or two, very quick.
Mhm.
First off, because Sniv has taken over the wine cellar for his alchemical experiments, Hawk's gonna drop off his how many bottles again? I think it was like 12. His Lotto Grotto winnings. Yeah, 12
Yeah.
bottles of cheaper wine. He's gonna drop them off in the kitchen. Maybe Demir will be able to make them
Cool.
tastier with baking magic somehow or something. Make a lot of rum cake with wine instead. Or just chug them while she bakes. She's probably gonna do that. Either way, that's item one. Item two is he's gonna gently knock on. Assuming Lish has already like entered there, I'm gonna gently knock on the door.
Yeah. I am here.
Hello. I was wondering
Hello
about
there.
hello there. About those parts that we found. Do we want to leave them here?
You want to hold them all around? Or you have a plan for them?
Not immediately. I was thinking I'd see how they fit together, if at all, and try to make something of them. I'm more interested in that plating, personally. Either way,
Sure.
I feel like I'd make better use of them all with my full suite of tools and not just my to-go tinkering kit.
Do you need them right now, or
I don't need them right now. I just wanted to see what you thought. I guess it is a matter that could have waited for the morning. Apologies.
it doesn't matter to me? We're still getting ready for bed, but I don't care what you do with them, Hawk. You could turn them into more guns, and I think that you'd probably make better use of them than up in flames.
Maybe, maybe not. Either way, I won't bother you to fish them all out until the morning.
All right. He kind of waits expectantly if there was anything else.
That's all. Sleep well. Or meditate well, I suppose.
Lish kind of
You-
looks at you thoughtfully, like, and you have a good whatever it is that you do during the night.
The sentiment's appreciated. He nods and then takes his leave, heads back to his room. That's all.
Alright. Anyone else?
But yeah, no. So I'm gonna make it canon because fuck it, it's funny. Valk digs out the goo man jar and puts it on her nightstand because why not? And it's just kind of laying there looking at it, hearing the noises of people being, together and in the house, and just like, I guess it's just you and me, goo man, and proceeds to draw eyes on the jar since googly eyes have not been invented yet.
Alright, so you desecrate a corpse before bed.
Well, I already desecrated it by scooping it up in a potion bottle, so what's a little more?
the star cracking.
It's also been, stepped in and had a ration thrown into it by someone. So
On the scale of things, it could be worse.
Alright.
Demir is not desecrating any corpses. She's not panicking about anything. She's not late to tell everyone about what's going on. She's just face first in the bed and going to sleep.
Cool. Alright.
Lish will just cuddle up in bed, and he's got a couple of the twigs of the new plant that he got, and he's gonna spend a little time over the course of the night that he's got free, when he's not trancing, to make a couple of them grow roots.
Alright. So, you all come to consciousness in the morning without any real issue passing over the night. At least none that you aren't already aware of. In the morning, Levy extracts herself from bed and starts trying to make breakfast for the kiddos. Esme is existing in the little conservatory garden. The kids seem to be in their room. No sign of Snoop yet. What do you guys all do?
First things first, Tobias is gonna inform Levy about the snake that was found.
Okay.
He'll probably tell it to her when they're first waking up. And say, hey, this is what we found outside. This is how long it had been dead when we found it. He actually probably still has the snake in the room because he's like, I might be able to skin it a little bit or something. I don't know, maybe get the bones out of its mouth.
Make a nice belt.
And you said it was stabbed to our door?
Through the head, yes. We believe that it's probably a sign from the King of Cutpurses himself.
Okay, first of all, that's fucked up.
Agreed.
I don't want to scare the kids. Do you think we should tell the kids about it, or should we just keep it hush hush? Because it's probably a warning to them if we're being honest, since they have connections of some kind. We don't know when they won't tell me to the King Cut Purses. But they're still kids.
That's the difficult part that I'm trying to determine as well. Because while I wouldn't want to scare them, I almost feel it would be more dangerous for them not to be aware of the risks. At the very least, for them to be more cautious. We can assure them that this is a safe place and that we will protect them. But if they leave the house, if they're somewhere where we don't know, it leaves them vulnerable.
I mean, I got them different kinds of lessons in town. I've been trying to get them to go to school and stuff. Probably it's not a good idea for them to be walking alone. Do you think that Eitree's guards would be willing to walk them to and from school and stuff? But they need to keep an eye on him too. Fuck.
Max does have a good point in the group chat.
I'm not looking at the group chat.
We do know a half-orc who's eager for distractions.
Tobias will snap his fingers and go, "What about Zoda?"
I mean, would that be like imposing on her, asking to like babysit? Is that something she'd really want to do? I mean, you know her better than I do. I mean, she's been coming over. She seems nice, but like.
Well, I know she's been eager
Also,
for
her little
distractions.
friend, the goblin fellow, seemed very focused on his thesis. Is that the word he used?
Yeah, he's currently studying as well. Both of them have been working on their thesis. I know Zoda has been eager for distractions, though. What if it's a split between you and Zoda? One walks the kids there, one walks the kids home.
I mean, that could work. But the problem is they're going to different schools, though, which is annoying now that in like this specific scenario. Why don't we talk about it as a family, like everyone, with or without the kids, but like I mean with the other folks in the adventuring party, see what they think. And probably Eitri could be involved in that conversation too.
Might as well, that way they're at least aware of who's coming and going. And I did inform his guards last night about the snake, since they were awake, and also because it's.
I mean,
Eitri.
I know Eitri said he was interested in going with you guys wherever you are planning on going next.
That would not be wise.
Alright. I mean, you'll have to catch me up, because I only know, like, secondhand, because, like, I mean, I talked to Demi a couple times with her spy ball, and apparently Falk's been messaging Eitri pretty regularly, and then he's been talking to me a bit. I mean, it'd be nice for us to all be updated on the going-ons, I suppose.
Absolutely, and I do know that most of what Volk has been sharing is basically more general updates of, hey, we made it to this location, we're not dead. We're heading to this location next. That sort of thing. But
yeah, that's more or less what he's been saying.
We'll update. Let's head downstairs, start making breakfast, and we can get everyone caught up. Get everyone on the same page.
Alright. Lizzie leads the way into the kitchen and starts to scramble some eggs.
Tobias will help with breakfast preparations and things like that.
Alright. Anyone have anything in particular they'd like to do before breakfast?
I think if there's a little bit of time before breakfast, if Ghost Mom is in the conservatory, Lish will come and bring down his little plant saplings and kind of talk to her about the interesting features of these plants, and maybe if we could try growing them in the conservatory without over-oxygenating the other plants, and just kind of talk over ideas.
Yeah, I mean, obviously she is nonverbal, but she seems very interested and receptive to what you're saying. And she,
I mean, I can read her lips, so I feel like we can have a pretty good conversation.
Yeah, like she's interested in the idea, and kind of guides you to find a few more pots that you could potentially plant them in.
Yeah. He's just like, they might have to grow outside of the house, just in case. But yeah, he'll take a little bit before breakfast to do some planting.
Yeah.
Aaron,
Demir. At one point, Layla comes into your room and jumps up onto you and does the cat thing where stands like directly on your boobs to wake you up.
Demir is so delighted and immediately does the like, oh, here's my little baby, and is like scratching her like behind her head and all that stuff. Just like Demir was lying in bed, like kind of refused to get up when Lish was getting up, refused to get up when Aaron was getting up, like very clearly was kind of awake, but was just like delaying the inevitable. The cat jumps up, she is immediately up. And she is gonna give like Layla a bunch of different little kisses on her little fuzzy nose and all that junk.
She's a little bigger than the last time you saw her, and the way that kittens are, like, they like suddenly are slightly more cat-sized when you look at them.
Oh my god!
But she's a good girl, and she starts kneading with her giant like 2 big paws that she has yet to grow into.
Oh, precious. Demir is going to spend her pre-breakfast morning playing with Layla and just having kitty time.
And Erin, likewise, something eventually appears in front of you and starts like kind of biting at your pant leg and just like doing the puppy like shake thing with your pant leg in his mouth.
oh, yeah, Aaron will take a moment to with him, and he's gonna take out from the what was it called, the Lotto Grotto. He got a little fabric doll, and he's gonna take it out and then like shake it around for something, and then throw it a few times, see if he's interested.
Something is very interested in the doll, bites it, and then like shakes it, and then poofs next to you to give it back to you and looks at you expectantly.
Yeah, Aaron will play fetch for a little bit.
It's funny because it's not proper fetch because it's just like teleporting back and forth to get it.
It's close enough. That's fine.
Something is doing his best.
And when he seems like he's coming down a little, Aaron's gonna go check in with the guards and just be like, hey, everything all good last night? How we all feeling? Did someone, I'm not actually sure who that was, Toby? Volk? Did Toby or Volk explain what's going on to you?
This time it's in outside of the door, and she says that would be the tall one with the green cloak. He mentioned the snake and went out to investigate, and best I could tell was that they made their way on foot, but used some sort of item to ensure that they would be difficult to track afterwards.
Aaron will nod and say, yeah, we did our own preliminary search when we were down there and concluded that it wasn't going to be terribly useful for us, at least, to keep looking.
My hypothesis is a dust of traces.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
I believe that they use perhaps the dust of tracelessness, but I cannot confirm.
Well, that's more information than we got, at least. That's good. Yep. Unfortunately, this enemy is very well stocked one. With
Something
a,
appears and starts biting your pant leg again while this conversation's going on.
Aaron's just gonna like reach down and just be like, doing that thing you do with bugs sometimes. You kind of just like grab their face and just start shaking it. And be like, our kids are wanted or whatever by these people, so it's been a constant struggle trying to keep everyone safe.
It would inform His Highness.
And I'll nod, and then he'll just go through something and then run over to get that.
All right. Anything else before you guys all have breakfast?
Yes, as it would appear everyone is doing their own thing, so we won't be talking to dead people this morning. Volk has to track down Sniv.
All right. Sniv is in the wine cellar.
So Valk makes her way down to the cellar, and is his alchemist lab closed in behind a door or open? I can't remember.
Well, there's the big wine cellar. You dumped a bunch of rocks on one side of the room, and then the rest of it is an alchemy lab.
Okay, so I guess she just kind of knocks on the door jamb or whatever as she's entering the cellar, and it's just like, "Hey, Sniv, how you doing, buddy?"
You can see that he has various scraps of fabric. The little crown that you had commissioned is off to one side, but the fabric that he has is very beautiful, actually. It's got kind of a shimmery, opalescence to it almost. It looks magical in nature, and as it shifts, you can see it gives hints to what lies underneath, as he is kind of sitting there on the floor with it, cutting it with a pair of shears.
Arts and crafts time.
Mm-hmm. It looks very gossamer and ethereal, the fabric that he's using.
I guess Valk sits down on the floor with him and is just like, "This fabric is really beautiful."
It's made from spiders.
I assume from their webbing as opposed to actual spider bits.
Who the fuck knows? It's from the Underdark.
How did you get Underdark fabric?
He kind of looks at you and wiggles his whole body, given that he lacks eyebrows.
Okay, you have contacts with the Underdark. I'm not sure what to make of that.
I mean, they just live in the city south of here. They've got a whole embassy and everything, and then they trade.
Makes sense. One of the others mentioned that you came in with a bundle of fabric. I'm guessing this is what this was?
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. Is there anything I can get you while we're briefly in town?
For this, they're for fun.
Either or. It was an open-ended question.
You have dynamite.
Did you just spit take, Avery?
I don't believe so.
Then probably not.
Wait a second. Sniv is a home-trained alchemist. We need someone to be able to generate gunpowder for the guns. That's a bad idea. That's a very bad idea.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you want your house?
Yeah, that's fair. Oh, you were reading the book about harvesting dragon bits a while back, correct?
Yeah.
We might be getting into a fight with a dragon here shortly. Is there anything in particular you need or would like having for your projects?
What kind of dragon?
White dragon breathes fire, so I don't know if the bits would count as a white dragon or a red dragon for alchemical purposes.
It could be something entirely new.
Well, scales are good. Spines are good. Teeth are good. Bone marrow sometimes. Fire gland.
Okay, that's actually not a bad idea. Do you want to come with, or shall we just grab it for you while we're there?
Grab it while you're there. I'm almost done with it.
Okay. I'll see what we can do. Anyway, I think I appreciate all your work and, being responsible. Something resembling responsible.
And you see him, with these gardening shears cutting this beautiful fabric some more.
Do you need smaller scissors?
No.
Okay. I'll leave you to it. We're gonna have a meeting at breakfast.
That's fine.
At which point Buck's just like, okay, buddy. And scuttles back upstairs.
All right. So, you all gather around the table for breakfast. Do you invite the children to this house meeting?
We probably... well... They need to eat breakfast, but we also probably shouldn't be discussing some of the more serious fucking topics around them, even though I know we've already done that so many times because people fucking forget that the children exist.
I think we just should do a party huddle, personally, but Demir is going to be one of the very last people to come downstairs, so...
we should have at least Eitri and his guards be part of this conversation because it's a house safety meeting. Although it would be helpful if we could get a straight answer from the kids in regards to their involvement with this King of Cut Purses.
Perhaps that's a project to leave Levy with while we're out.
I could always zone of truth.
I don't think you should zone into of truth our children.
I will take your lead on that. I don't have as much experience with... Yeah.
The little ones. And Aaron's gonna, like, gesture to something about, like, a foot tall.
Very much not that young. And the last time I interacted with kids on a regular basis was when I was a teen. Yeah, I'll follow your guys' lead.
So it sounds like this is a conversation between the party members plus Eitri.
And whatever guards are available, probably.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
We're probably
so.
keeping a pretty close eye on him, realistically.
Yeah.
Not only because it's their duty, but also because there's threat of thieves.
All right. So I assume you guys spend some time getting Levy and Eitri caught up on the things that you guys have been dealing with.
Hawk will make a side mention that we should probably bring Levy to the Mistra quarter of Alpern at some point. Give her a quick little vacay, maybe when things are a little calmer.
I mean, I'd love to go. That sounds really fascinating. It sounds like there's a lot of history to that city, to be honest.
It has a very divine air to it. Maybe it'll be more interesting to go when the attendants to Mistra aren't all frozen in place, though.
I mean, probably. Like, it'd be nice to chat with the person that you said was frozen there. Once all this shit is dealt with, probably.
Aaron's going to message Levy. Giant fucking library.
Oh my goodness.
And then he's going to send a second message. It's also a temple.
Holy shit. Yeah, we definitely gotta like take a vacation there to spend some time doing some reading. And you said one of the temples there is a museum. I'm into that.
You know, with the difficulty we had getting into the Mistra quarter and it being on a separate continent, that could be a pretty effective way to keep the kids out of harm's way.
I don't want to disrupt their lives more than necessary. Like, I feel like we're just getting settled in, you know? And taking them away from the place they've been their entire lives to move to a city in bumfuck nowhere would cause a lot of problems, especially at this age. They're almost 13, you know.
I think disruption is coming. Disruption is coming for them, whether they want it or not. whatever they have gotten themselves into is knocking on our door, literally.
And you know,
I would say it's better to be on turf that we know we're familiar with, and we would therefore have more of an advantage.
I changed major locations at that age and turned out.
Hawk in human form sort of side-eyes Valkyria.
Levy kind of gives you like an oh dear sort of face.
Aaron pats Valk's shoulder and says, "You turned out."
Levy might have a point.
I mean, I'm new to this whole parenthood thing, but I'm trying my best. I've been doing some research and doing some like parenting book reading. Like there's this really good one called "How to Talk to Your Recently Adopted Children."
It's very sweet.
I mean, there's all kinds of parenting books out there.
That's fair.
Like, granted, some of the information there is bullshit, but I've been trying.
Your bullshit radar is fairly accurate.
I like to think so.
Personally, I'm of the mind that people who can shoot sunbeams from their hands and whatnot don't have much to fear from a gang of thieves.
Besides a gang of thieves that can also shoot sunbeams from their hands.
You don't know if they can do that.
We don't know too much about this King of Cut Purses and what his whole deal is, other than
crime.
He's a crime boss, maybe an Avatix, maybe not, and he likes magical items. That's what you guys said before. So
I did already want to deal with him at some point if possible.
I mean, I think that would be great, to be honest. Any information, by the way, that you can find on this guy would be helpful, I think.
His reach doesn't extend too far past Seiya from what we've heard. And we're not going to be around Seiya for a while we're running around doing alchemy chores. So, information might be few and far between, but we'll send along what we can.
I'll keep an eye out myself, if I can. And at this point, Itri speaks up. You are concerned with protecting the household. I would be glad to lend my pattern dancers to help protect the children. And at this point, Tifat kind of speaks up in Marhabi and says, Your Highness, are you sure that is a good idea? And Itri says, and perhaps I can accompany you guys in your dragon fighting quest. That would certainly get me out of the way, and it is not as concerning for me to move around from here than it is for the children. You did, after all, promise to invite me back on your next location. He looks directly at you, Demir.
We haven't even finished our first location.
Well, that is the thing, isn't it? Because you said that you want to go talk to the hags. That was your first location. And you promised before talking to them that you would retrieve me. And I assume that since you're back here, that is the ideal opportunity.
I don't think dragging the prince with now a very big target on his back is going to be a very good idea.
I thought the Mojave princess always kept her promises.
Say such a thing?
Hawk is completely unfazed.
Demir is just like,
There has been multiple instances where a skilled arcane caster would have been of use.
Plus, I am able to teleport when needed. I could get you closer to the supposed location of this dragon that you seek. Potentially.
if shit goes wrong, I won't be able to help you. None of the rest of us will be able to help you.
It has already gone wrong. Look at the state of the world. I would much rather be of use rather than stay back home and twiddle my thumbs while reading books and doing nothing to assist.
Demir is going to look at the party.
Sounds
Seems
like he
like
needs
all
to
of-
get out of the house.
More than anything, I think someone who is able to help fight Rakshasa and his posse would be perhaps more at home out there than waiting around for the King of Cut forces to kidnap him.
Two birds with one stone.
Seems I am outvoted. Fine. You get to come. Congratulations, you get what you want again. And Demir will
He
just
looks very
like
smug.
yeah, and Demir
three
will
guards-
stand up and like walk out of the kitchen.
Ichi looks smug, and his three guards are like, I don't fucking like this. It's leaving us behind to watch some kids.
We could bring.
It's not that different from their day job, let's be real.
If it would please the guards and not screw over the DM, we could bring one of the guards with us. More I'm asking because of the ladder.
Does breaking up the Triforce ruin their special girly pop powers?
Kind of. Like it's you know how hag covens get extra abilities when there's three of them. It's kind of like similar vibes for them for their illusion magic.
You can't break up the Power Rangers, not yet.
You know,
they need the power of friendship on their side in every fight.
Could we even
Don't we all?
accommodate another person at this point? If we keep picking up strays, eventually we're going to be a much bigger party than can move around.
Is Demir saying this to herself in the hallway because she went?
She didn't leave the
Yeah, I guess I did storm out, so
What?
never mind.
Well,
Demir
we
is
did-
off in the hallway.
We're missing all of her snide commentary.
well, we did just ditch our last stray.
Damn,
Fair
dude.
enough.
Anyway,
This Demir could like be lingering in the hallway, pouting up against a wall, listening in.
Nah, I think she went into the kitchen and is trying to figure out how to make her coffee an Irish coffee. Yeah.
You see all of these bottles of cheap wine that Hawk has left on the counter.
Sorry, what? I had to respond to my brother. What happened?
I said to Demir but you see all of these bottles of wine that Hawk left on the counter.
Uh-oh. The consequences of my negligence.
Do we not have whiskey? Anything stronger? Okay. I'm going to make the most horrible concoction of coffee and wine. Try a sip of it. Hold on.
How's your constitution?
Tries a sip of it. Slowly pours it down the drain. She didn't throw up, but
wasn't great. Amazing. Are the pattern dancers being like vocal at any measure about like their uncertainty about leaving Eitri with these chuckle fucks?
I mean, you can tell from their body language that they're not too happy about the idea, but since Eitri told them that they're going to stay here and help keep an eye on the kids with Levy, there's not really much they can do.
And they don't split the party.
Hawk will sort of turn to them and very briefly like do a sort of like fist and palm salute and say like, don't worry, we'll keep him safe. You have my word.
Rahat speaks up. You're the better.
Yeah, we've only had a couple deaths in the party, and they got better each time.
You are not saying much to inspire confidence.
How about this then? She's practiced in divine defense, and I in a new form of arcane defense. And if he doesn't come back alive, you can drag me to Marhaba and jail me yourself.
They all kind of look at each other and, says, that sounds like a fair deal. And Rahat kind of shrugs one of her shoulders and says, you all have succeeded in keeping the princess alive this long, so suppose something must be said for your talent.
Falk's face when they said keeping the princess alive.
I mean, to be fair, I don't think she's gone down, but she hasn't died. I think the only person who has died is Lish.
Out of character, Demir has died like 3 times.
Oh, damn, okay.
Yeah, remember the
Demir has
cursed
died
sword?
like the most in our party.
We've had 4 deaths since Valk's been here. Demir, Lish, and 2 Valks. Of course, one was in an alternate timeline.
I had no idea that we actually had to use any of our revivifiers. Damn, I haven't been keeping track, huh?
Remember, she had that cursed sword that blew up on her.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Maybe if she would stop getting cursed.
She's also died in battle before.
She's got a nose for trouble.
Those were the other 2 times. Is that she goes down during fights or whatnot.
Thus raising the DC for if we ever need a proper resurrection ritual.
Fine. It's fine. She's fine. Nothing bad has happened to Demir. She's fine.
Aaron's gonna pipe up, and even if somehow the worst comes to pass, he's gonna flick one of his gray hairs, and say, I just got prepared for that contingency.
Speaking of which, we haven't had that discussion yet either.
I was just about to say, Levy's seeing Aaron as an old man now.
Not old, just filthy.
He's an older man.
He's become
decrepit.
geriatric. He steps outside and his bones shatter like glass.
Damn, he's over 30. Man's a corpse.
Literally.
But Levy's attention is drawn by Aaron flicking his hair like that and says, I mean, I like the new look, but something going on here?
Yeah.
Right.
Look a little different. I like the undercut.
Thank you. It's needed a little less. Needed a good symbol.
So, did you stumble into a time rift before we headed out, or?
Oh yes, I've lived 10 years of my life without you guys. It was horrible. No, well, you remember when we went to the Temple of Glimvor? And the priest there asked us what we were willing to give up on our journey.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I thought about it afterwards, and he's gonna turn to Lish and say, thought about the conversation I had with you. And thought that having less time, after we're done with this, because I still should be in, good fighting shape for the journey itself, and well, I'm willing to have less time afterwards, to myself, I suppose. For to get in good graces with the of the dying. Said I should be able to bring back anyone if well, if it comes down to that. And he's gonna shrug and just kind of like extend both of his palms outwards and say, I think it was worth it.
Cellambor, Kellam.
I think it was Kalimvor.
Cellambor.
Yeah.
Kalimvor.
Better than Shar.
Ha! Yes. Seems, fair. Legit, and, I specifically thought about it and wanted, I made it clear in my mind that I would not accept anything that would harm anyone but me, or that would reduce our chances of success. And I think I did that. I think I managed it.
A problem for after this is all over, I suppose, is a smarter decision.
Aaron nods and says, if I have to spend a decade less in the worlds, I think that much better than well, than just having to die prematurely because reality stopped existing.
And besides, we have a few extra decades as Azamar. Nudge, nudge.
I guess your logic is sound. I only hope it's not a decision you come to regret.
Yep, that's a problem for future me.
Besides, we need to survive the fight with the indefinite for it to be a problem. So, 50-50.
Exactly.
all the more reason to make sure that we do.
Honestly, rolling 3d10 and only getting a total of 10 years off of your life is not bad.
It's pretty
realistically, yeah.
I'm quite happy.
It's on the low end
with that result. Yeah, I was prepared for it to be a decision that Aaron was going to legitimately regret, but I don't think he's going to regret it as it ended up shaping up.
Imagine if you rolled 3.
And even tell that he aged.
Aaron comes back and he's like, notice anything different? Nudge,
No.
nudge, wink, wink. And everyone's, yeah, and no one can.
Did you gain like half an inch? What happened?
So
Did
specific.
your hair get longer?
So specifically, what advantages have you gained from this deal with Calibar, Kelly?
Kelly? Well, I've gained, I don't know, some dimension of power over, life and death. I can, resurrect people now.
Interesting.
Is this a class or a spell-like ability?
It's a spell-like ability.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what Aaron's up to now.
That's handy.
Yeah.
Levy says, and well, it seems like your scars are gone too. I can actually kind of see your tattoos a bit.
And Aaron just glows at the comment. Yeah, kind of handily took care of a lot of that.
Are you happy?
I'm pretty happy, yeah. I think,
There you go. That's what's important.
yeah, feels like coming in from a long day of hard work, you know? Tired and, knowing you put a lot in, but satisfied.
Besides, he looks stealthy. All's good.
So
And Aaron,
how long are you guys planning on sticking around?
I think
Fortunately, I don't think very long.
Truthfully, I think the plan was to come back here to recuperate since Alpern was put on lockdown by the crash, and
we needed a
get our
warm bed to
magical
sleep in.
energies back and ask this captain, I suppose.
Oh yeah, the dead bodies.
Mm-hmm. And then after that, I think we were going to head back.
Maybe we supply in town if there's anything we need, but I don't think we're here for longer than that.
Stay a day.
Rahat looks to you, Aaron, and says, in that case, I suppose that your tour of the town will have to wait.
Aaron, Aaron turns back to the group, and he's got puppy dog eyes now.
Well, Eitri did say.
So what are we thinking?
Eitri did say he can teleport us closer to our destination, so that cuts down on travel time.
I can, if you show me where we are trying to go on the map.
We bought some maps.
Interesting. We do have maps.
We do have maps.
I think we do specifically have a map of the area that the dragon is in, too.
And
like we very specifically bought a detailed map of that area.
So I guess it would make sense if we took a day to double check our supplies, since we'll be dropping significantly closer to our destination.
Aaron nods emphatically.
I will need to get supplies if we want to reincarnate the bodies.
Well, we still need to ask them if that's what they'd like.
But we should be prepared to do so if they say yes.
Or we could ask them before we spend the money.
I'd say ask him before spending the money.
That's also fair.
Well, sounds like we need to figure out the 5 questions for each person and get a shopping list together.
And while you were saying that you were in the ship thing, they were speaking a weird language.
Yee.
We think that came from the far future.
Do you have access to tongues?
I do not, and Itri speaks them. Actually, I do.
Nice.
Well, that makes
I know,
things easier.
I know Demir was able to figure out some of the finer, like, points of the language. Like, I believe she mentioned that it seemed like to have roots in Elvish. So both
I
of you
am.
fine.
How do you say? More of a support type caster. I am here to assist rather than actually engage in battle.
Well, we
Yeah.
wouldn't exactly let you be frontlining either way, so. Would give your guards gray hair if we did.
I mean,
Hey, what's wrong with gray hair?
it would not be the first time that I have perhaps overstepped. And you can see, like, the 3 guards kind of having, like, war flashbacks. So you are going to interrogate some corpses?
Not the first time.
I think interrogate's perhaps the wrong word.
Yeah,
We're mainly
fair
looking
enough.
to see.
Who will I be casting tongues on?
Just gestures to Valkyria, the only person who's actually able to speak with the dead.
Oh no, speak with dead, they're then just active, so anyone theoretically.
I thought it was 1-to-1. We've usually had you relay the questions either way, so I guess that was part of the confusion.
Well, they speak out loud, but Valk is the only one that can ask the question.
Oh, okay, so. Oh yeah. So it is different than the D&D movie. Whoops. Different editions.
That was a
different things.
magical item. This is a spell.
Okay.
That was a magical item. This is a spell. Yeah.
That would be me. And how long does tongues last?
Let me double check.
Most spells like that only last about an hour. I'd be surprised if it was longer.
Yeah, 1 hour.
Oh, then I can totally cast the 2 spells easily enough.
All right. Let me, and he reaches for his component pouch and pulls out like a tiny, small little clay pyramid like thing, and traces symbols around it, and then you kind of feel a sort of a warmth around you going to, and then sort of coalescing in your mouth and ears. And you hear E3 say, "All right, can you understand me now?"
the rest of you hear him speaking my hobby.
Yes.
There we go.
I'll run upstairs and grab the goo guy, and I guess we'll do this in the basement.
Wherever you like.
That would probably be wise since that's where the other body is, so.
Demir sees Volk come running out to go upstairs and kind of like pokes her head in, like, what is happening?
We're talking to the dead people.
Are we leaving soon?
We're figuring that out after we talk to the dead people. But it looks like we're spending a day.
Talking about going into town picking up supplies, maybe. You said you're gonna fight dragon. I'd recommend stuff to protect against fire because that was a clusterfuck last time.
True.
Demir, what are you doing out in the hall? Come back in.
She'll come in with a new cup of coffee. While you all were talking, she brewed herself a non-terrible cup of coffee.
Leafy leans over and gives you a kiss on the cheek when you come back in.
Demir will give her a little return kiss and just kind of look at the group like, we're really staying. Did we not already supply up in Alpren?
Do we feel ready?
I know we did
do
gather
have quite a bit.
supplies. We did gather some supplies in Oprin, but as a precaution, we may just want to check the shops here for more fire-resistant stuff, because I know that when we checked the shops in Oprin, they didn't have as many things as we would have liked, partially because, they couldn't really get stock in due to the quarantine.
And our travel time's been cut down thanks to your brother's ability to teleport.
Very interested to see how that works. Sounds different than what we've been using.
But yeah, so Valk enters with her little flask of green goo with eyeballs drawn on it.
Did you...
What did you do to that?
I gave it eyes.
Okay.
Do you not have enough to spare?
Is that necessary for speaking to the dead? Do they need to be able to see you?
That said, do we even know if that counts as a head?
That is a good question.
I hope for our sake that all of it counts as a head.
If you, Aaron rummages around and pulls out his paints. If you need it to have a mouth, I don't know if that would work.
Well, worst comes to worst, might as well try it.
Oh my god, does Aaron draw a mouth and googly eyes on the jar?
No.
Yes.
This is rather
Aaron's
ghoulish.
asking Volk whether or not he needs to.
I've never done this with a goo man before, so it might be helpful to have a artificial mouth.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Maybe we should start with the one that we know speaks, and then see about the goo jar.
We could ask them if they could speak.
Well, Aaron can draw the mouth while we talk to the first one.
It wouldn't use up much paint, I guess.
Let's hold off, I think, until we talk to the first one.
Aaron looks relieved.
I do not want to see what happens if you draw a mouth on a jar.
Oh, we need to ask if the goo man wants to be reincarnated.
Let's speak
It
to the
doesn't
one
have-
that we know speaks first,
Yes.
and then find
Ask
out if the
that
goo
one.
jar is even conscious.
Okay, so that'll be one of the 5 questions.
It could just be a construct.
Oh, so true.
It'd be
So
very
potentially-
interesting if that's the case.
Okay. Question 1. Reincarnate.
I'm going to cast comprehend languages on myself so that I can listen to whatever is
2.
happening conversation-wise.
Goo man. Sentient or construct? Don't we want to ask about some of the parts that we got?
I think we should ask them about where they are from, what they are doing.
I don't think that anything you could ask them about the parts would give me enough information to recreate it.
Where from? What do? 5th question, in case if we need another question. Okay. Let's goo this.
We're doing the pilot first, remember?
I know.
No!
Removed! Go to jail right now!
I'm just reminding you of ooze up first, Loris.
You know what?
Whose line
Listen,
is it anyway?
I've already drawn Demir's ire as Hawk. I might as well draw your ire as myself as well.
So I guess we unwrap the future elf, and I cast Speak with Dead on it.
You can see that, as I said, she's got light blue skin with a strange sort of silver iridescence. Her white hair is braided and twisted back in a bun so it could better fit under her helmet, with a few loose strands that are a little bloody. Her irises are purple and her sclerae are black, but as you cast Speak with Dead, there's a rattling sound in her chest as she breathes in to answer your questions, and her purple irises over towards you.
Before I actually cast the spell, I do ask, do we know the pilot's name?
It was Captain. She said it in the message. It was like Captain Elverin, something like that.
Captain
Maybe
Sylvana Luthon.
Sildana.
Not
It was
even
way off.
close.
Way off!
I'm pretty sure Alpern was the town we were at.
Captain
I know Alpern was where we were. But...
Sildana.
Either way. No sweat.
Okay.
Sylvana.
Captain Zilzana. Do you wish to be reincarnated or buried, or what is your preferred manner of rest?
I wish only to be reunited with my partner.
Who?
Who is your partner?
Is that one of the questions you're
Yeah.
asking?
Yes. I'm going rogue and asking who is the partner.
My partner, Victor Kill, is a plasmoid.
The green goo thing?
Huh.
I think
He was
that
a person once.
Died upon impact. In my grief and panic, I began to fire at the intruder. I apologize. I was afraid.
You know, good for you. So it looks like we're doing. Oh no, I'm not saying this out loud because she'd answer the question.
Yeah, I was gonna say you have 2 questions left.
Yeah. When are you from?
Solar date 233.
I have no clue what that means.
Yeah.
That's like
Not-
over 1,000 years from us.
You have no idea what system of dates she is using. Given that your knowledge of the calendar system is you go by eras in years for this planet, you have no idea what a solar date is.
It's obviously a different era.
Could be.
When they were worshipping the sun.
Okay, what era are we in?
I wrote that down in my own notes.
Hold on, let me pull up the thing.
It's 1837. I don't remember what the name of the era is. I think that was in my Zoda notes, actually. Let me double check.
You are in Era 9, 1837. It's called the Modern Era for now.
Era 9. Okay. How many eras after Era 9 is this solar date era of which you speak?
I am unsure what you mean.
With that, the breath leaves her body. And the irises that slid over to you go back to where they were when she died.
Well, do we want to ask?
Sounds like...
What did we find out?
It sounds like they want to be together.
So it sounds like we should probably resurrect them both.
So it
Or
sounds
just
like I need a lot
bury
of
them
goo.
together.
True. So we could ask the goo that, or we could make assumptions.
They would be very out of time and place.
Hawk already is, so what's the worst that could happen?
I can actually speak common.
It's also Hawk's time displacement is much smaller than theirs.
Yes, I left home.
Let them be
let me
together
double
in death.
check.
Truth
Yeah.
be told, I'm a little concerned about what sort of knowledge them running around in our world could spill.
They
Yeah,
could be able to help us with our issues now, with time. They could have information that could be useful.
But that assumes that they'd even be able to speak with us when we resurrect them. If their mind is the same, then they wouldn't immediately be able to communicate with us.
We would
We'd
have,
have to
use
cast more spells.
comprehend languages, yeah. There's also, we do run the risk, because if they are from such a far distant future, would they even have knowledge of our time?
Do we even know that
1,000
they're
years is a long
did we even
time.
know if they're from Saya or remember Saya?
That is true, because
Well,
they
they've
came
got-
out of a ship that came from the sky.
They've got plants and they've got krakens. They've got little suits. They've got big chairs. How different could it be?
Like
We
Where
do
else could
also
they
have all
possibly
of those
be
things.
from?
Different plane?
There's no other planet. There are other planes, but This is
Whatever
us.
whatever the case, we have no guarantee that they would know anything about our time being so far removed. I barely know anything about this time, and I'm only from 10 years in the future.
I, for one, am very interested in knowing a bit more about what they're all about.
I'm sure you'll
Aren't
live
any of
long
you
enough
the
to see it at
least
some
bit
point.
curious? Aren't any of you the least bit curious?
I'm I admit, I am
Wait.
curious about their time. However, I'm considering of respect to them.
I'm quite curious, but it does seem potentially inhumane.
Well,
we
we
also
can-
don't know if the resurrection of her partner would even work.
If you
also
mean,
can
imagine-
resurrect a goo jar.
I
Well-
also
Imagine
I'm-
suddenly waking up in the, I don't know, third era.
As long as I have a little bit of flesh, I can regrow an entire body. It creates a body, basically, out of a soul, more or less.
Well,
This-
Do we
I
know
just-
that it has a
Let me
soul
look
as we
at
would be able to
reincarnate really
identify
quick.
it?
well,
I
the
don't
quickest
even know
way
if it
to
needs flesh. Let's see.
you need a little bit.
You need at least a piece of it, and then you need rare oils
And unguents.
worth at least 1,000 gold pieces.
I mean, all of you also take into consideration, we did murder this woman.
in self-defense.
And, I would say the 2,000 gold would be worth finding out how their weaponry operates, or at least have it
Exactly.
work.
I admit that I am curious too, but it is not worth the possibility that we could get nothing. The very real possibility we could get nothing, and it is not worth ignoring her final wishes if she wishes to be buried.
Well, she just wishes to be with the partner, so I suppose I could ask the partner some questions before we make a final decision.
Do we have to paint a mouth on the goo?
We need to paint a mouth on the goo.
No, you do not.
I don't know that. Valk doesn't know that.
If Valk
What-
tells
what
Aaron
good
to,
would
Aaron
a
will
painted
do it.
mouth- What good would a painted mouth do? It's not an actual mouth.
Yes, it is.
I don't know if it'll be an actual mouth. I have not tried to.
It's not something that
parts
moves.
of
It's a thing that's
creatures.
just painted on.
But it's magic.
Magic paint.
Magic.
It would become a mouth on the jar. I have no.
I don't think I want to see.
It would make the
a
jar
entire
sentient, if
mouth.
anything.
I don't think I want to see an entire
I don't
mouth on a jar. Today.
really want a sentient jar.
The jar
That-
also isn't. him.
Honestly, would it be a
Or
a
them.
weirder traveling companion than our walking brain?
Man, where is that brain, actually? Anyways.
Yeah.
It's up in the kids' room.
Well, that's good.
Well,
This is true.
Sleeping on the floor like a dog.
well,
Just be.
the corpse technically needs a mouth for this to work.
The jar
And
isn't the
I
corpse.
don't know how it'll work exactly with the goo. So
I
I
can-
think better safe than sorry, we should give it a mouth.
Can you
I can try
paint the
painting
mouth
directly on the
on? Exactly.
Pour the goo
Should
out,
I-
paint a mouth on it, and then put the goo back in the jar.
Why would you put it back in the jar?
I
at
don't
that
know if we
point?
even need to put it back in the jar. We
That
can
is a
just
good
talk
question.
Put
to
it in a
We
bowl.
require a bowl.
Put it in. Yeah, put it in something that we could bury it in, maybe, if what it wants is to be buried.
Well,
we
it
have
can be
any,
poured
like-
back out of the bowl, so we need a bowl.
For the
Is
record,
there,
I
like-
hate this.
Is there a bowl that that was part of the original cutlery of the house that we are definitely not using to
Sure.
eat off of?
Why not?
Cool. Tamir will offer that bowl.
Okay,
Nothing that she is going to use.
Valtor's,
Post session.
just a little extra curse. So Valk pours the goo man into a bowl, and it's just like, could you give him a mouth, please?
Yeah, the woman also, her eyes. Does it need eyes too?
Technically, no. It only needs a mouth to be able to communicate.
Okay. Um. Okay. And Aaron's gonna paint a little like jack-o'-lantern mouth, with little teeths.
What color do you choose?
What color is the goo? Green?
Green.
The goo is green at the moment.
Aaron will do like a dark blue, I suppose.
Okay. You paint this mouth on, and it's strange because as soon as you complete it, it's like the paint sort of melts into the ooze. The ooze kind of shivers a little bit and then turns blue, the same blue that you had painted it.
Huh.
Anyway, I speak with Dead the Goo.
Okay.
Yay.
It kind of gives that same shiver.
And I can feel the spell take?
Yeah.
Okay, greetings, Senior Goo Man.
Didn't we hear its name from the captain?
No, just the partner. That was the goo.
Didn't the captain say the partner's name?
She called him a plasmoid, but I don't think she said his name.
No.
I thought I heard a Z something or other. And then she also mentioned another name on the recording.
Yeah, there weren't.
She mentioned all sorts of different names. She mentioned...
and she said the last person with her was...
She said Rolis, Agel, Kilpui, and Vexelkius.
Master Plasmoid.
Yeah, as far as we know, Plasmoid is its name. We don't know that that's a species.
Mm-hmm. Master Plasmoid. Captain Saldana wishes to be with you. Do you wish to be reincarnated, buried, or what is your preferred custom?
As it shivers, you can hear sort of like a weird disembodied voice in your mind, and it says, "I am no master. I know no binary. I fear only for my wife, who is left alone as we fell."
Okay, confirming you're sentient, not a construct.
I was alive. I was not created.
Okay, we got some space lesbians, and they just want to be together.
Not lesbians. This one's non-binary.
Non-binary, don't erase them.
Okay.
Use is it, its, or they, them pronouns.
Okay, so we got a they, them. So we got a space queers that want to be together. So I guess we're resurrecting. Does anybody have suggestions for what else to ask?
I mean, we could ask him the same, or them the same sort of questions that we had planned to ask the captain about the technology, about where they are from.
Since we're technically resurrecting them, they'll retain that information once they're back, so...
Do we know for a fact that we're resurrecting them? I don't think they answered the question of what they wanted to be done.
What are they even doing? Are they friendly? I mean...
Okay, sure. I'll ask those questions. What mission were you two on?
We are merely sailors. We transport goods wherever we are asked to do so.
They're sailors. They transport shit, so they could theoretically work with my dad. We got two more. Maybe the slime knows. How many eras after the 9th era is this solar date era?
Era system was largely abandoned when the elves extended beyond this planet.
Okay, we got space elves and they don't use the era system.
So we'll have to
Does
settle for the far future.
anybody have a suggestion on asking times, or shall we just?
I think when they came
I think
from
we've
is
learned.
not important, I don't think.
Yeah, as much useful
They found it
information
on the
about the time
planet.
as we can.
Oh, what's her planet called?
I
don't think we have a
It's
planet
mostly
name.
just known at this point as the planet.
The planet.
There's nowhere else to go. I
Why
mean,
would we
Okay.
name the only ball of rock that we know exists?
this is the prime material plane.
Okay, there we go. Do you hail from the prime material plane or another plane?
I was created and birthed along with my people on this plane on a distant asteroid. But we travel through the material plane into the astral sea.
Okay then.
Clearly they're mad.
and the Google.
It stops shivering, but it still remains a blue color from your instinct.
Well, I guess we're resurrecting some space queers.
Is it really necessary to spend that kind of gold?
Yes.
Yes.
Listen, Valkyria, like the only ones like this deeply invested at this point, I think.
I mean,
and
I
honestly,
admit I
guess-
am. I admit I am also curious, but
If it's Lish and or Valkyria's gold, that is theirs to spend as they see fit.
Well, don't we want to have the things that we got off the ship functional too?
I'll find something to do with them.
Hawk
doesn't have to
was
be the
just
original-
asking about getting the guns working. Use some of the armor, perhaps. I'm sure that they'd be able
Do we
to
know
help
they
you
were
out
guns?
with that.
They're shaped like
They
guns.
looked kind of like.
They
Oh
were
no, they
shaped
were
like
like
they
like
shot
a
light at you though. It was
yeah, like the person shot light, and then like the actual pieces were like disassembled AK parts or whatever. So like they weren't in the shape of a gun when we found them.
Well, but the space captain was shooting a gun-like object at us. I assume that gun that she was holding is very much like the guns that we found in the storage.
Well, unless
But they
every
shot
part
magic.
Well, unless every part that they require is among them, I don't think I'll be able to recreate what that was.
Well, it's certainly worth a shot.
we got as much as we could off of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
And I will note that the devils seem to have taken whatever else off of the ship as well.
They're probably just gonna like make flails out of it or something. Who knows? Maybe one of them's actually smart enough to make a gun. I hope not.
Well, probably the person who summoned them, but I only realized they're bug lizards and not devils, so...
Well, I mean, there's no guarantee that the person who summoned them is any smarter than anyone here.
Were they summoned, or did they walk through a portal in the mountains? Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? Well,
Okay, I think that
I mean, the
Lish will
weapons
dust himself
would be
off.
the weapons would be useful, but I don't know if that is worth 2,000 gold pieces.
I have
Yes.
at least 1,000 gold pieces that I can put towards this. If others are willing to aggregate the rest of the gold.
I am personally broke at the moment, but I would certainly be willing to put some of our next loot towards this. Oh, the party funds a little.
Tobias technically has 2,201 gold. Motherfucker is rich, and he forgets constantly. He's willing to put forward some money.
Okay.
Well, I'm willing to owe the party funds.
We only have 2,000 gold pieces in the party funds. So, if we were to use party funds to resurrect these two, we would lose all our party funds.
Well, Hawk, if you're willing to put forward 500...
He just shakes his head. I think this is a lost cause, I'm going to be honest.
Well, if Lish is willing to do 1,000 and Toby's willing to do 500, I'm willing to owe the party funds 500 the next time we get a windfall.
I'd rather not take money out of the party funds if only two of you are interested in this resurrection. I'm willing to put forward 1,000 gold. But I do so having faith that if this is not what they want or whatever, we will deal with the consequences.
I think they will be happy once they are together. We can have some information from them, perhaps, and then be satisfied when they are able to lead their lives, whatever that may be.
Well, I'm willing to owe Toby money.
I will accept that.
Okay. I owe Toby 1,000.
All right, well, let's go hunting for rare oils and goos. This is a relatively goo-laden city, so it should be okay.
Yeah, I will say for the sake of brevity, you were able to find the incenses and oils that you need for this resurrection. You pay the 2,000 gold and head back to the home, I assume, to do this in the basement.
Well, where else would we do a ritual
fucking
like
know.
this?
I think we could find perhaps a nicer area to resurrect them.
Maybe the graveyard.
I don't think waking these two up in the graveyard is probably a very kind idea.
It has been turned into a garden, I'm just saying, with old graves.
Yes.
You do also have a cozy family room.
I think the family room, perhaps. It shouldn't be a particularly messy process.
I'm not sure if I want to risk Echo and Egress walking in on this.
Well, aren't they at school at this point?
Where are they? Yeah.
While you guys were downstairs interrogating the bodies, Levy and at least one of the pattern dancers took the kids to school.
They were out of the house for a few hours. It shouldn't take that long.
All right. We can. Okay, who has the body? Can someone come and bring it up from the basement? Lay it
I
down
will
on
take
the
the
rug.
goo jar.
All
Goo
right, which one are
bowl.
you doing first?
The goo, I think.
Well,
Okay.
no, because the goo doesn't know the captain's dead, so we should bring the captain back first and then the goo.
That's actually a pretty
Bring-
good point.
It feels more traumatic to wake up in a different body and then see the goo.
Well, she
Of
already
the
knew the
spouse,
goo was.
Partner.
Yeah, she already knew the goo was
She already
dead.
knew that.
It's
So-
going to be
Though I
traumatic
will
either
say,
way.
we don't know
Let me
that
decide.
bringing the goo
Lay the
back-
body down. Lay the body down. I will take care of it.
I will say
Demir
that
is
with
going
bringing the-
to. Sorry.
with bringing the back, we're not 100% sure that's gonna work, so it might be better to do that, and then if it fails, well, there we are, instead
Oh.
of bringing the wife back, and then she doesn't get to have her goo.
That's a good point. Goo first.
I want to have more energy to put towards the goo body rather than the one that is mostly whole. So give it to me. He reaches out for the bowl.
Demir will hand him the bowl of goo.
Okay. So Lish,
Lish has to find some flesh in there.
I mean, it's
the
all
flesh.
flesh, kind of.
Okay.
Every part of it is every part of the body.
Okay. So you begin to cast the spell. Do the rest of you hang out in the room while this is going on?
Hell yeah.
I think Hawk's probably retreated to
Tobias
the
will-
workbench.
Stand over by the door.
Okay.
Aaron had gone into town, with Rahat, so I think he's
Alright.
probably still out doing that.
Aaron's
yeah.
on a date.
Oh yeah, real
Aaron's
quick.
on
Did
a
Lish
date.
ever?
Aaron's giving the worst tour ever. Aaron's like, and there's the art store where I got these kind of supplies, and there's the park where we hung out while waiting for people to get back from the university. It's just completely about things he's experienced in town.
Valid.
Would Lish have dropped off the parts at Hawk's workbench, or would he still have them by now?
Unless he's come and gotten them, I don't think we've given the
Okay.
guns up just yet.
In that case, could he borrow the bag of holding, just to unload it?
Can't wait until I'm done with this, he says over the bowl of goo.
Fair enough. I'll be upstairs.
Okay. So, the casting time for this is 1 hour. Lish, you put a piece of cloth over the bowl of goo, and you take the oils and incenses and all the other things that you need and begin to chant and cast this spell. And very slowly underneath this cloth, a more humanoid shape begins to form. And after an hour, with a gasp, the humanoid shape sits up, kind of breaking the bowl under them. And you can see an androgynous human with a broad nose and kind of tannish skin with a hard jawline and sort of kind of like an almost undercut in a way. Like their hair is short, but you know when you wake up in the morning and all your hair is pushed off to one side, and they open their eyes and look around, and you can see that their eyes are a very deep hazel with little hints of that bright green it has been before, as they look around and then say something in the language that you do not know.
Fuck.
I'll cast comprehend languages again.
They are speaking and just saying, where am I?
Hi. We not threat. Friend.
Val kind of sticks her head out the door and is like, Eitri, do you have another tongue spell you can do today?
I suppose that I can. Hold on. Demir, roll a persuasion check.
We're making people in the basement and they don't speak common.
So it was slightly cocked, but it was a natural 20.
If it's cocked, it doesn't count.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
It was right on the edge of like between the 8 and the 20, and it was solidly on the 20 face, but it was cocked. Okay, that's okay. That is a 19 persuasion, so 30.
All right. They seem to relax a little. They're still very confused. I have to ask, is the body of the elf in the room?
Yes,
think
but
we
it's like
probably
it's covered.
covered her up. Yeah.
Okay.
like
She would have been
behind
covered.
the sofa.
Demir is going to hold on, take out go through her bag and take out some of the like little crystallized ginger candy that she had and offer it to the goo.
But now human ectoplasmoid.
Goo human.
Yeah. They reach over and take it, and then they kind of look at their hand and go like, what the fuck is that? Then with their other hand, like, they're still kind of holding the candy like this, and they're like,
I know it's a lot. I know.
Eitri comes by at this point. Valk, do you want tongues cast on you or someone else?
I think Demir, the skill jockey, would be better at this point in time.
Or wouldn't it be better to just cast tongues on the person?
Yes, that's very smart.
Because then everyone can talk to them.
So they'll have to translate for their girlfriend when she wakes up.
Their wife.
Wife, sorry.
Okay, so Eitri comes in and casts tongues on this new person that has appeared. And, they kind of blink and, again, still holding the candy up, and just like rub at their eyes and like,
Can you understand us?
what am I?
Welcome back.
You are a human? We think.
I wasn't before.
Sorry.
You were in a bowl before.
What's happened?
Uh,
Where is my wife?
Your ship crash landed, and we pulled your body and your wife's body from it. We were just going to resurrect her next, but if you want to see her, she's... Demir will indicate to the cloth, but we were going to bring her back next. I know it is disorienting, but we are, if you can believe us, genuinely trying to help.
They seem like they're in shock and trying to process everything you're saying, and they look at the candy that you gave them and said, I'm not absorbing this.
You have to put it in your mouth.
Sorry, we weren't able to afford a true resurrection.
Demir will offer them her water skin and just like drink some of this. Sit down. We will get your wife in a minute. Hour.
Okay. And they, I will note, are naked, by the way.
Well,
Maybe
besides
pass
the
them the
cloth
blanket.
on them.
Yeah, they have a cloth on them, but they kind of
like a napkin.
Yeah, they go and like huddle on one of the empty chairs and just kind of draw their knees to their chest, and they're like, it's kind of moving the candy around with their tongue in their mouth and just staring.
Demir is going to take like one of the blanket throws from the couch and wrap it around them and just like stay right here.
They nod. They seem very, very grateful. Do you pull out the body for the elf next?
Lish will start to begin the ceremony. He looks though to the partner and it's like, would you like to see her face before the ritual is conducted? It would be the last time before she wakes up as another body.
They look kind of horrified at that, but they wrap the blanket around themselves a little tighter and move over and peel the blanket back a little bit and just kind of cup their wife's face and kiss her forehead and then replace the cover and return to their chair.
And Lish will kind of hold the hands and starts the spell on the body.
Okay.
And Val kind of goes over the spell's casting, kind of talks to the goo lady, just like, hey, or goo person, and like, hey, what's your name? Do you have anything you'd like to know right away? Yada, yada, yada. Just a little distracting while the spell is taking place.
They just, again, seem like they're in shock and kind of give short answers, but they say that their name is Spectacle, which I will put in chat.
Thank you.
Do you speak any common?
I speak a little, and then they speak in something that sounds like common, but again, it's from the future, so it's kind of like if someone who spoke Chaucerian English were trying to communicate with us now. It sounds kind of insane what they're saying.
So like every fifth word makes sense.
Yeah, more or less.
So there's a starting point at least.
Mm-hmm.
They're accidentally exploding the mind of our Victorian children brains.
So Lish casts the spell again, takes another hour, at which point I will note that the time kind of runs out on the tongue spell, and the weird kind of broken common.
Demir is going to use the hour that they still have the tongues to try and figure out a way of communicating. The spell is going to wear off, so we need to figure out how we can speak to one another, but
and also we warn them that the spell for communicating is going to wear off, so they aren't caught off guard.
All right. While Lish casts the spell, once again, the form shifts underneath the cloth a bit. Not as dramatically as the formerly goo person did, but when the spell is up, they kind of throw like the cloth off of themselves, and you can see that she is now a water genasi. Her skin is kind of like greenish, bluish gray, and while her sclerae are still black, her eyes are now a blue and have kind of like that fish-like pupil. Her hair is shorter now and seems to have gotten loose from the bun it was in, and it's like a dark kind of murky green, and it's wavy and about shoulder length. And her ears, which were once long and elf-like, are now more like fins, and you can see gills on her neck, and she like stares at you all. And at this point, her partner kind of stumbles out of the chair, and they speak rapidly to one another in their language and hold each other's hands, and they both seem very confused and scared, but glad to have each other. That, I think, is where we'll call the session.
We did good.
Hey.
We traumatized people from the future. Let's go.
I mean, really, it's just returning the favor. They traumatized us. We're traumatizing them. You know, this is the cycle of trauma.
I'd say that Demir is very experienced in perpetuating that, but I think that's a lie.
I mean, I feel like this brings a new layer to generational trauma.
You are
We're
the next
traumatizing
generation.
the future before it's even happened.
And well, there you go.
All right.
Gotta do what you
Thank
gotta do.
y'all.
In
Thanks
a
for playing,
couple
guys.
decades, we're gonna have a random town with actual future weaponry. It's gonna be terrifying.
Well, they probably can't manufacture it from scratch, but they can probably repair what we have.
I mean,
Maybe
they could probably figure out something to do with what we have available with the knowledge they have from that time. Might not be the exact same as what they had, but it would still be more advanced.
Nevertheless, thanks for playing, guys. And
thank you for DMing.
Thank you for letting us traumatize random future people.
Bye.